This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From Axios, Liz Truss wins race to replace Boris Johnson as UK Prime Minister. United Kingdom Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has won the Conservative Party leadership vote 57% to 43% to become the country's next Prime Minister. Truss says that she will lower taxes, won't introduce any new ones, and will handle the ongoing UK energy crisis while implementing some kind of austerity plan. She's taken a generally combative tone with the EU and has been skeptical of continuing to support Ukraine. She is scheduled to meet with the Queen and formally take up the mantle as PM today, hot on the heels of former Prime Minister Boris Johnson's formal resignation and final meeting with the monarch. From The Guardian, Chile votes overwhelmingly to reject new progressive constitution. A new constitution, demanded by protesters in 2019 and drafted in 2020, has been rejected by Chileans, with nearly 62% of voters casting their ballot against its approval. This constitution would have been one of the most progressive in the world, including a slew of new social rights and rules meant to help reduce economic, legal, and gender disparities in the country, and would have replaced the 1980s-era document that was put into effect under former dictator Augusto Pinochet's rule. That earlier constitution will now remain in effect. Chile's president has said that a new constitution will be figured out and implemented, and this is just one step along the way toward that future document, though both approve and reject sides have expressed concerns about the other possible paths to a new constitution that are currently on the table. And from CBC News, manhunt continues for 2 suspects after Saskatchewan stabbings leave 10 dead, 15 hospitalized. Residents of Regina in the Canadian province Saskatchewan have been asked to shelter in place and take other precautions as police search for 2 men who have collectively stabbed at least 25 people at 13 different locations, leaving 10 dead and 15 hospitalized. This is a rapidly developing story, and there is a chance by the time you hear this, some of the details will have changed, but it would seem that some of the stabbing victims were purposeful, while others were random. The manhunt has brought a huge number of police forces to the area, and this wave of attacks represents one of the most deadly mass killings in Canadian history. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.